Hello everyone, my name is Landon and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over the top 5 darkest Stephen King endings. So we're coming up to Halloween, so I thought what better to do than make a list of the 5 darkest, scariest, and most disturbing endings of any Stephen King novel ever. So, let's get right down to it. At the number 5 spot we have The Regulators. Spoilers for all these books, by the way. The Regulators, the ending is really depressing because most of the characters that you're rooting for throughout the entire book end up dying. There's like 12 people, maybe even more than that, who you're introduced to at the beginning of the book, and 60 to 70% of those people die, and we're left with like 4 or 5 people at the end. At least I'm pretty sure. It's like, no, maybe like 5, 6, or 7. Those 3 numbers, that's how many people we ended up with. But at the beginning of the book, we started with like 13, 14. We got introduced to a bunch of characters, and then almost all of them died in very tragic ways. And the ending of the book where Tack blows off Cammy's head, it's really disturbing. Seth Ennis, that's his last name, right? No, Seth Garron. Who am I thinking Ennis? I'm thinking of a different dude. Seth Garris and his aunt literally sacrifice their lives to save the people on Poplar Street, and then Tack possesses Cammy and then kills her, and I'm pretty sure in the process killing himself, but the ending leaves it really vague. I am going to be doing a all the Bachman books ranked, and this one ties for second with The Running Man. I just couldn't put one over the other. They're just so good. I love The Regulators and The Running Man, and they're just on top of each other, basically. So, let's get that right back in there. At the number 4 spot, we have Kerry. I'm pretty positive this is the first ever time I've put Kerry on a list. The ending of Kerry is dark for the sole reason that the main character that we fall in love with throughout the entire book dies. This is a book about bullying, home abuse, and just all-around torture. This entire book is disturbing nonetheless. The ending makes it so sad because Kerry ends up dying in the end, and in the process, before she dies, she kills a bunch of like the kids that were in her town, like the people that knew her, and like the people who she grew close to, like the people who were neglecting her, she killed, and even some of the people that she grew close to in her last days, like even died. She killed them, and that's what makes this book so depressing and dark. And it's a perfect Halloween book, by the way. Very short, less than 300 pages, and less than 300 pages in this format. Look at how short this thing is, and it's less than 300 pages. Great Halloween book. Let's put that back there. Get in there, you old fart. Alright. At the number 3 spot, we have Cujo. This is one of the first ever Stephen King novels that I read. And the ending is definitely deserves to be on this list. The movie made it better, but the ending was even better than the movies because it pulled, it like, freaking, it held no bars, let's basically say that. Is that how they say it in the critic industry? But yeah, so, in the book, the kid that we follow around, his name is Tad, and his mom are in the car for, like, a lot of the book. Like, the last half of the book, they're in the car, and Cujo is out there, like, basically stalking them, and if they get out, Cujo, he starts to attack them. And throughout the entire last half, Tad is suffering from an asthma attack, and he's been trying to deal with it, and his mother has been trying to help him. And in the end of the movie, Tad goes unconscious and dies, but the mom, whatever her name was, I can't really remember her name. Is her name on the back of the book? I can't really remember her name. I think it started with a D. Did it start with a D? Let's quickly look through the book. Vic is the husband's name, the dad's name. Come on, don't want to waste time. I can't really find out the name. I don't know where her name would be. I think it starts with a D. It's like, Donna. There we go, I knew it, yeah. Donna is her name, and Donna revives him back to life in the movie. But in the book, she does that same procedure. She tries to revive him back to life, but he stays dead. And that's what makes this ending so dark, is because the character, once again, that we grew to love, and you actually had some hope of living, in the end, ended up dying a horrible death of an asthma attack. At the number 2 spot, we have Revival. This, if it weren't for the number 1 spot, this is 100% the scariest Stephen King ending of all time. In the end of the book, the two main characters figure out that after you die, you don't go to heaven, you don't go to hell, it's much worse. You are subject to literally eternity under a being, I think it was just Mother. I think the being that you serve under is Mother. You serve under that being for the rest of eternity, and you're literally in constant pain. You're always just going crazy, and you're just under this one voice. You're serving this one being. There isn't a heaven, there isn't a hell, but there is just that. And the two main characters don't die in the end of the book, but they go on living, knowing that that's what's at the end of the road for them. And that is just, honestly, one of the scariest thoughts. Like, to live and know what comes after, especially if it's bad, is literally one of the scariest feelings I think you could have ever. Honestly. And at the number 1 spot, we have Thinner. I'm currently rereading this, if you're going to notice the bookmark, but Thinner's ending literally made me shiver. So throughout the entire book, this man, very morbidly obese, he's like 250 pounds, gets cursed by a gypsy by saying just one word, and that word is thinner. And throughout the entire book, he goes from like 250, and I'm pretty sure his ending weight is like 115 or something like that. He loses all of that weight, and he's just literally dying from the inside. And if that's not dark enough, the ending is worse. In the end of the book, there is some light, because he gets the curse removed, and the only way to get it removed is by putting it into something else and giving it to somebody. So what he does is he puts the curse into a pie, and they call it the gypsy pie. And he gets the curse removed, and it's in the gypsy pie, and all he has to do is hand it off to somebody else, somebody that he doesn't like, somebody he doesn't really care for, even a random stranger. He just gives it to them, they eat it, and the curse is gone. And at the end of the book, the last 5 pages, you see that he puts the pie on the table, and he goes and takes a nap. He's done with it. He's going to find somebody tomorrow. And then he realizes that when he wakes up in the morning, he goes to find the pie and is about to take it out. And when he goes there, he sees 2 plates and 2 pieces of pie cut. And he realizes that his wife and his daughter have both eaten the pie. So now they're inflicted by the curse, and now they're going to start to thin away. And not only do they start thinning away, Billy, I'm pretty sure his name is Billy, yeah, Billy Halleck, the guy who had the curse before and was whisking away and just dying, he eats the pie too, and re-curses himself and joins his family being cursed. And he just knew at that point it wasn't really worth it, and he knew it was over. And that is 100%, in my opinion, one of the darkest, scariest Stephen King endings that I've ever read. And it's a Richard Bachman. This is my favorite Bachman, if you didn't know. So, that'll do it for this list. If you guys like this video, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you're new. Down in the comments, leave your 5 scariest Stephen King endings, and I'll see you guys in the next one.